allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item up are bills. Any problems with the bills? Nope.
Let's see, Glenn answered my question. Tom Nutty couldn't call me today. Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay, can I have a motion to pay the bills in the following
Oh,
amounts?
excuse me one second. Karen, you were gonna get us a spreadsheet for the Esplanade.
It's in your mailbox.
Okay, what's the
Here,
totals?
I'll just share it with you.
Okay, thank you.
I have one, she put it in everybody's
Okay,
mailbox.
good.
It's right on target.
So we're a long way from being reimbursed in our full amount yet. Well, not a long way, but
No, we're,
10,000?
no, it's right on there. It's like 5 maybe? The two together, there's only,
Yeah, like 5,400.
So we spent 131,000. We reimbursed for 60,000, and the total amount was 154,000.
No, it came out to 149.
Right, but the total, the total amount of the grant money is 154.
Right,
But
but we
the-
didn't.
We don't use the 154.
Okay, reimbursed. So okay.
Okay. Okay, can I have a motion that bills be paid in the amount, following amounts as presented?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Harrisburg Water and Sewer Report. Thank you, Karen. It's there for your reading pleasure. Correspondence. The only one I'm gonna really read the full letter is from the Upper Delaware Council. It's in regards to the communication tower ordinance. This is from Travis O'Dell. The Upper Delaware Council has been recently engaged in the various issues surrounding communication towers in the River Valley. Understanding the need for service, we hosted a workshop on March 29, 2014, featuring prominent presenters from both New York and Pennsylvania. Spawned from the workshop was the idea that municipalities are not powerless in regulating this industry. However, the only way a municipality can regulate the siting of towers is if there is quality law or ordinance in place. Issues can range from setting bond fees for tower construction, siting of towers, to tax assessment of sites. Many municipalities in the Upper Delaware Valley do not have adequate laws in place to address these issues. The Center for Municipal Solutions, the largest municipal wireless consulting firm in the country, assists communities to develop ordinances and review tower applications at no cost to the municipality. Their services often lead to increased revenue for the respective town or township and maintaining planning and siting decisions at local level to the extent possible. The UDC is reaching out to its members to consider the next steps. Please respond to it as whether your municipality believes a regional model ordinance or plan is the best approach to this issue. If you would like the UDC to facilitate setting up appointments with the Center for Municipal Solutions, or if your town/township would like assistance in evaluating your existing tower regulations. So that's to think about. We'll have to talk to.
I put it under new business.
Yeah, that's what that guy's, that presentation they had down here
Right.
about the power.
Time Warner Cable, we got the payment of the franchise fee. That was $7,836.34. That's down. I can't tell you how much. I just got this today, so. But it is down from what we've previously been getting. So they don't have as many subscribers.
Percentage.
Ooh,
We went to 5. I thought you said that was up.
yeah, that is up, but they've lost subscribers.
Right. And so this is for 2013.
Yeah. And last one was Saratoga Casino and Raceway. Basically, they wanted to let us know about some news that they have submitted a plan to build the Hudson Valley Casino and Resort, a world-class destination resort casino conveniently located in the town of Newburgh at the junction of I-84 and the New York State Thruway. And they just go on to say that how many permanent jobs and whatnot, and they don't feel that it's going to be in conflict or competition with the Sullivan County casinos, which couldn't say but whether or not. This will be in the town clerk's office if anybody wants to see it.
There's about 12 other casinos vying too.
So,
Bonasek wants 2 here, so that's the most important thing.
and could you pass that to Nicole, please? Thank you. Announcement, again, the Upper Delaware Bio Blitz to be held at the 10 Mile River Boy Scout property on June 28th, 29th. If anybody'd like to attend that, they're looking for people. They're also looking for participants, from what I understood. So, and then watch for the energy saving tips provided by our Energy Committee and the River Reporter every week, and we thank them for that. Presentations. I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Nancy Hackett, Sullivan West Superintendent, and School Business Administrator Lorraine Tusten, and they're going to speak to us about their budget. Welcome, ladies.
I'm sure you all received this in the mail, which is our newsletter, and in the middle of the newsletter is our budget information. This year, we have proposed, and the board has worked very hard for the entire year to put together, and I'm going to apologize because the back of me does not have a good look. I just want you to know.
Oh, you look fine from here.
How about right here? And I can still see Glenn on the other side, so I'm feeling like I've got everyone in now. Just so you know, the board worked incredibly hard to narrow the margins to really make this budget so that we could maintain the staff that we have all of the programs that we have for students, all of the services that we have for students, have our lowest tax cap that we were eligible for so that we would be under that so that people in years to come will be able to have that opportunity for that property tax freeze. That being said, if you looked at the comparison that was in that the Times Herald record, you will see that we have the lowest rollover in Sullivan County between last year and this year, which is a 1.3. And our tax levy limit is an increase of 1.24. So we are really looking at the fact that we are trying to, for our taxpayers, keep this as low as possible and not restrict the opportunities for our students so that they have those opportunities going through the education system and are able to go forward. So we just wanted to give you the clear information. For those of you who are my newsletter advocates, you'll notice that this newsletter came out in black and white rather than blue. We are saving on our ink. We are consolidating and we are working hard, and we just heard of another consolidation idea that we may be just looking into in the future. So that is our information. Lorraine Tusten is our business manager, and she can maybe explain a little bit more about that property tax freeze, which is a year from now.
So starting with the 2014-15 year, the governor proposed a tax freeze program for school districts who managed to keep their budget within the tax levy limit. That was one of our main hurdles that we achieved. The people that will be eligible are the ones who are currently eligible for the STAR exemption. It's not everybody or across the board, it's only those who qualify for the STAR exemption for the properties here in this district. And the actual calculation will be based on the increase per town. So there's a lot yet to come. It's new and I'm still researching it, but it's positive for our district and all of you.
And one of the things I know is, as if you look at school districts across the state, you will notice that some of them were able to do this and make that plan for the future for their, for their constituencies, and some were not able to. And a lot of it was we had to wait and see what the state was going to give us in their state aid and what we were able to have as revenue and put all of those pieces together. So we just wanted you to have that information.
Did they give you guys more state aid to help you achieve that?
No, they did not.
Well, it was minimal.
It was a minimal increase for
wasn't
all
what we were
districts,
hoping
but
for.
it was not in any way so that it was equitable to that.
We have some teachers in my family, and actually my sister-in-law is looking into, she's going back to school, and she wants to become, there's a lot of teachers apparently that are becoming teachers in these virtual classrooms that will cut down on the faculty size. She teaches in Damascus and Wayne Highlands, and they're starting to look at, reducing the number of teachers because the cost of carrying the teachers, and of course your retirements and all that stuff is, as you well know, very expensive, as we well know, very expensive. So are you guys planning on reducing your staff and going to these virtual classrooms or doing any type of I want to say nouveau type of teaching
We have
techniques?
online opportunities. All of our online opportunities have a certified instructor with them because, as we all know, our students are very adept at using computers and working on that, but they need that adult to make sure that they are moving at the right pace. And so right now, our teachers are a valuable asset to us. So that's one of the reasons why we have them in place. If there's opportunities for us to share, if we have an AP course and there are students in another district, that'll be our next discussion to say, is it possible for us to teach, you know, our AP course and to Skype in students from another district and to work that out. But that has contractual implications as well as, you know, the technology piece. But those would be things that we would be looking for. We find that the teacher component, if you think back, you know, working on your own, and then if you just have that teacher component to remind you and to nurture you and to mentor you, that is a critical piece in education. So we still think that that's a very important option for us. But thank you for that question. Yes, sir.
Have you had time to review the veterans exemption yet?
Our veterans exemption, very good question. We were very interested in that process. We went out to Sullivan County and asked all of our townships to share that information with us. Interestingly enough, Sullivan West has one section, a small section of our district that sits in Delaware County. Delaware County has not been able to identify their veterans and their veterans exemption. We're waiting for that information because we have to put all of our information together to make that decision. We have talked to them multiple times. All of the schools that have a piece of Delaware County in their district are all waiting for the same information. So there are school districts that are all in the same boat, but we're hoping that this summer we'll be able to help them with that and try to pull that information, because they have to pull that out of the information. Then we put all of it together and look at that. But thank you for asking. Yes, that is definitely something we are reviewing. And just a real quick, yes, sir.
I congratulate you on the budget, but I'm always amazed. Will there ever be a year where it doesn't go up?
No.
Well, I mean, every year it goes. How about even Stephen?
No.
That it doesn't go up at all. A lot of people are, thank you, you know, hard pressed for cash. We got the highest taxes in the state in Sullivan County between property tax and school tax. So, I mean, there was one year on Social Security, we didn't get any money. I mean, and the school still had to have, even though I think it's 1.28,
Right.
which is admirable in comparison to the years previous, but I would like to see a year where there's no increase.
And
I mean, I know that's asking for too much, but like I say, we're really hard pressed.
And
There,
I
there are
appreciate that.
there are 75 homes for sale in the town of Tusten. Primarily, a lot of it is because of the high taxes that are imposed upon them. PA is right across the river. They have a very low tax rate, and it's very interesting for people if they possibly could sell their house, which they're trying to do, obviously, because of the taxes are incredibly hard. Again, I congratulate you on the work you put in.
Well, we're definitely, just so you know, we are working very hard to continue to look just at
I
those type of
see
things.
that. I'm very
Yeah.
pleased with when I saw what the increase was gonna be.
Yeah.
But then again, I said to myself, does it always have to be an increase?
And some of our increases we don't have control over.
I know.
The school district
I
and the
know,
state.
I know it's incredibly
Right.
difficult.
So, but we're working on it.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I had 6 children go through that school when it was over yonder,
Yeah.
and it was a great school. Unfortunately, it's just sitting there like a big lump.
We would like to sell that lump to anyone who will take good care of it.
Well, I think you got some people here that are interested in it.
I can give them the name of our broker. I am happy to give them the name of our broker.
Bernie,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
You're welcome.
What was the increase, 1 point, what?
1.28.
That's actually lower than the cost of living, that's lower than the rate of inflation.
Correct.
So effectively, Bernie, that is a 0% increase. If it's lower than the rate of inflation, it actually is no increase at all.
Well, I would like to see it one year just be even squared.
But then that would
I
be
have a
actually
few.
a negative.
It has happened in the past.
Distant past.
Just last but not least, we do want to recognize someone in your organization the gentleman over there with those reflective armbands there, I have to tell you, I can call Glenn, and this was quite a winter, needless to say, as we all survived it. I could call Glenn anytime. It didn't matter, 4:15 in the morning, 4:30, 10 o'clock at night. We knew that the roads would be safe, our kids could get on those buses, and I really compliment him and his crew. And thank you for your time, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, ladies. I'm glad to keep you down. Hang on, highway.
Okay, finally, I got some stuff to report on. The weather's breaking for us. We did have 2 hours overtime this last month, and that was due to making grader patch. We used 789.9 gallons of diesel, 238 was non-highway, 551.9 was highway. Used 462.5 gallons of gas, 125.2 was non-highway, 337.3 was highway. We repaired some spots that were tore up around town this last winter, around the library, on the flats, Hankins Road. We got 2,000 tons of crusher run delivered, and we pushed it all in the pile behind the town barn. Got the rest of our sand delivered and piled up. We lubricated our sanders and have our small sanders put away. We painted all our snow plows and wings and put them away. We're in the process of getting 2,000 ton of 6S stone. We did some grading on Grassy Swamp, Swamp Pond, Humphrey, and Chalk roads. Did some ditching on Old Coshecton Road, Lake Ridge, lower side of Grassy Swamp Road. We repaired 2 storm basins in town. One was down in front of 15 Main and the other's down across from the feed mill. We got 5 of our big trucks and a trailer inspected. We still got 1 big truck to do someday. We get it to it. Have been sweeping roads. Have a couple to do yet, but we're hoping to do them at the end of this week because we like to do it after it rains, keeps the dust down. Got a call for a couple trees down last month, and we're checking for branches down a lot of days because of the high winds we had this month. Opened up all our seasonal roads. We bought a paver from Hoffman Equipment, just waiting for some repairs. And no, I didn't buy a piece of junk that was broke down. This is a used paver. They have augers into them, and we probably could have got 4 or 5 years out of the auger, but I told them the only way I would buy the paver is if they put new augers in it, because the augers were like $1,000 and putting it in is $1,000. It took them a couple days to get back to me, but they agreed to do it, so
telling me?
it's ready. We had the repairs on our grade off, our sweeper, and our mowing tractor. Last year we broke a shaft off in the transmission, but that's fixed and up and running. I took my transit work there one day, and we put out the forms, put drains in, and poured the pad for the dog kennel. So that's all done there. Yes, sir.
Thank you, crew.
Replaced the pipe on the corner of Chalk and Swamp Pond Roads. Replaced the driveway pipe on Swamp Pond Road. We made 1,000 tons of grader patch. We took our 1 ton down for litter pluck, and this year we got less than we have in the past. So I don't know if it was less garbage or less people out volunteering to pick it up, but we only had about half a load. We did some repair work on 2 of our newest trucks. There's a spot on the post on the box where they rot out on the very rear, and the 2006s has already been repaired, and these are 2008s, and they both are the same spot, so, but they're repaired. And we went down and shoveled out the ditch in front of the Glen Cove Cemetery. One thing I would like to report too, just because we're doing it today, Erie Road's not done. That's just T&L code on that. They'll finish it tomorrow morning. Anybody coming down off of School Street onto Bridge Street, if it rains or something, be real careful because the water on that new pavement's going to make it a little slippery. So use common sense coming down on there, and we should all be okay. I hope.
Thank you very much. Okay, water and sewer, Dom's not able to be here. He had a family emergency. Again, I just emailed you all the report. Building, Gary.
For the month of April, 15 construction inspections, 2 complaint-related inspections, 1 certificate of occupancy was issued, 3 certificates of compliance were issued, 14 building permits, including 2 new homes, 1 accessory building, 1 alteration or addition, 4 alterations or addition, 1 for alteration of a commercial construction. 2 demolition permits were issued, electrical permits were issued, 1 logging permit, 1 roof replacement, and 7 CO violation searches were conducted. I attended a training for the TAP grant program, is that what it is? Reimbursement program for the town. And also myself and my clerk went to a hazardous materials for code official training session in Swan Lake, New York. We collected $2,814.90 for the month. That's all.
Thank you, Gary. Ken?
During the month of April, the tentative roll was completed and printed. Unfortunately, the town taxable growth for 2014 was the lowest I've ever seen in my tenure as assessor. The normal growth for many years was around $1 million a year. For 2013, we experienced a rapid drop in that growth, and it continued to virtually no growth for 2014. There were a few houses started late in the year that did not get completed. There were foundations, and so very little value. Other partially completed seem to be standing still. A couple of them got done, but not that many during 2013. Eldred School District approved the veterans exemption for their district. The state was not able to modify the computer program in time for this to be put on the roll. Thus, each one must now have a correction of error form done. The computer is still not updated, but should be soon. Similarly, the New York State Department of Taxation information about removal of basic star exemption was only available the last day before the roll had to be submitted. It is all time consuming on the local front, even though it does not affect the town taxable. I attended the Sullivan County Assessors Association meeting on April 22nd. Discussions were held about the changes in STAR and the problems created, the new school veterans exemption, and a presentation about the change in location of the local services office, which has moved out of Newburgh, and a diminished number of staff members. They've really cut their numbers a lot. They're in Rybrook and Westchester. Some went to Albany.
Oh, wow.
So they're further away. They're offering less services. The assessors that we're talking about, legal advice on some topics. They used to be able to call the legal department and they would help us through. Now they'll give you a little bit and tell you to call your local attorney. Now, local attorneys don't know tax law.
Right.
And, you know, it's very technical. It should be the attorneys that deal with it all the time. So they're really backing away from their support. Grievance day is scheduled for May 27th, and I hope that many reductions are not given or we will experience a decline in this year's tax base.
Wow.
So Ken,
Sounds very encouraging.
when you said that there wasn't an increase because there's no new properties, because we've got 4 or 5 houses going up in,
Yeah, but they're going up.
Right.
They'll be on this coming year we'll get them, but they weren't there.
okay, let me just continue
Yeah.
that thought though.
They didn't make it in time. They need to be nailing it a little faster.
But how about is there, so there's really no increase in, because of sales and stuff like that, of the, or, you know, real property sales? There's no increase in the valuations of the existing properties, is that right?
That wouldn't change them anyway.
I'm sorry?
That wouldn't change the valuation of the property anyway. It's definitely against the state law. It was called Welcome Stranger on Long Island, where the subdivisions of the houses built after World War II were like cookie cutter houses. And somebody paid more for one and they'd raise that, so that was very unfair to the others. So there was a law enacted for that called Welcome Stranger, and you don't change an assessment by the sale price.
Because of the sale price?
Yeah.
Okay, either up or down?
I try not to. Sometimes they come in and beg for down, but you try not to do that either.
Okay.
Because again, it puts them out of whack with everybody.
So when does the appraisals change, just when you reappraise?
Revaluation.
Okay. And when, do we do that on an annual basis, or how does that happen?
No, we haven't done it since 1991.
And that's part of the problem with our equalization rate, right?
No.
Well, you're going to have either change in value or change in equalization rate according to the market. So whichever way you go, it's going to hit you about the same.
Right. But the people that did the equalization, that changed it, the fellow that you were working with, that changed the equalization rate, now that Newburgh office is closed.
Correct. But he's still around. Luckily, he's not here now.
They ship him upstate, okay.
Yeah, he was in Greene County last I knew.
Ken, can I ask you, these houses that are in foreclosure, does the bank continue paying the taxes?
Generally, I think so. Nicole would know that more. Yeah, I think so.
You have any idea how many houses in Tusten are in foreclosure?
Maybe half a dozen at the most. I don't think we see that many.
The
Thank you,
county
Ken.
buys them up, basically.
Well, if they go for tax,
If
but
they go for
but the
tax,
bank, if they have a mortgage, they'll pay the taxes and then they move them on. They may sell them at a loss on their mortgage, but they do move them on.
But they don't seem to be taking care of the property either.
It depends on the bank, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Bert Hankins' house was foreclosed, and within a couple months it was sold. Whereas
We
the
have
one
one
down on
down on
your
the
end
corner.
has been sitting there, but it's still in her name. It's not foreclosed.
Well, there's a notice on the window. I don't know if that's from the
They
bank or
never
not.
did the sale, so who knows what's going on.
Okay,
Big mess down there.
thank you. UDC, Susan.
Well, we began our meeting with a presentation on knotweed by the Park Service. And the only note that I made, I think all of us kind of know about the knotweed problem. And one of the things that was said though, and I think Glenn is probably aware of it, but to make highway departments aware that you don't want fill that's got knotweed in it and, you know, that type of thing. You don't want to cut it and just, you know, the trimming of the roads like the county did, where they just left everything strewn all over. If that was knotweed, that would not be good. State, right. But I don't think our people do that. I mean, whatever is cut is cleared up. So there are ways to do it if you have an area that can be mowed. And Jamie is wonderful over at the Park Service. And if any property owner that you know that has a knotweed problem that wants to address it, it would really be better to address it with her. She would be happy to tell you everything and probably even go and visit your site. So we had, since the last time I was here, the UDC banquet. Chris Gibson was excellent, I have to say. I'm not a Republican either. But he demonstrated that he understood the flexible flow management plan. He understood the thermal release proposal. He understood a whole lot. He did his homework. And he was very much willing to advocate for us. He then spent until 9 o'clock that evening talking to everybody that wanted to talk to him, which was pretty amazing. Lori said she thought she'd never go home. So it was a very good event. And I think we do have an ally, and if we wanted to go forward on different projects to make, you know, clear what our project is, whether it's school or whatever we want to advocate for. And I'm sure I could arrange a meeting with his person, Paula Brown, and just sit down and say, this is what we want to do, you know. So, at any rate, that was that. And where's my list? Oh, yeah. So Chris Gibson, and we sent a letter to Mayor de Blasio with copies to everybody on the thermal release program and further understanding the OST, which is the new way that they manage flows from the city. And I don't know what the response will be to that, but the flexible flow management plan gets renewed or does not get renewed at the end of this month. So it was pretty timely. BioBlitz, I met the fellow Stephen Schwartz, and he was really nice, and he sent me a long response, and I've copied you in. So I think as far as town involvement, we kind of know what's happening and how we would like to be involved or have committed. The fire department's apparently committed to helping them with traffic.
Yeah, I had spoke with Andy Boyer actually on that, so
Yeah.
prior to getting your email. So.
And anybody who wants to set up booths of an environmental nature or you know, I guess you'd have to say, well, this is my thing, do I fit in? But you're welcome to do that. Self-service discussion, so you read the letter, Carol, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that's pretty much exactly where it is.
Right.
So my sense from Travis is that this guy, Dick Comey, his expertise is in not really, is trying to get things situated so that it doesn't cost us anything. So I think it's worth pursuing on that level. And it's kind of better to be prepared than to be caught without any preparation. They basically were interested in what are town's existing rules, and that always is where it starts. And then from there, take this guy's advice and figure out how to change it to our best advantage. So I don't know where you guys want to go with it, but the ball's in our court.
Yeah, we'll be discussing it, so, yeah.
And view shed analysis, and in connection with that, there'll be a view shed analysis training May 19th. Park Service is going. I doubt that anybody here is going to go, but they're going to determine if what the Park Service has is helpful to us. River cleanup proposals. Okay, the Park Service is coming up with $3,000 to distribute amongst all the towns. Yeah, we were all going, $3,000 per town, that's great. No. The program, but he is trying, and the program is basically hinges on involvement of local groups, such as beautification, youth group, another group. And if that group could see the way that they have some project, they need a few extra bucks, then if they wrote that up as a proposal, they could probably get it, you know. But that's my sense of it. That's how it would work. So if we had a youth group and they wanted to organize a river cleanup, Park Service will kick in money. If beautification wanted to, I was thinking even buy trash containers or something, they would contribute some money.
Get you the youth commissioner's email.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was also thinking about contacting the Boy Scouts to see if maybe, I don't know, throughout the summer even, if they'd be interested in doing anything like that, or litter pluck, or, you know, something, take some of their troops that are up here and do, you know, just a day of volunteering for the town.
Exactly. So if you had volunteer and you had maybe a few bucks from us and then they would match that, then you'd have maybe, and it will go, take care of a day of activity.
Susan?
Yes.
Are they doing that in conjunction with Kittatinny Canoes? Because they've been doing it for so many years. When I was a kid, I used to work for Kittatinny Canoes.
Kittatinny does a fantastic.
But why don't they all kind of work together? You know what I mean?
I honestly don't know. Kittatinny is located, based in
Right in Berryville, yeah.
Berryville, okay.
I'm all over. Berryville's where they run that out of.
Right,
Wouldn't it be a good idea to work with them?
Well, the Park Service used to give each town a certain amount of money for our trash on the, like the deck and the whatnot, and then the river cleanup.
Right.
So we do, I think it was a mile of river within the township, so that's what that paid for. So we'd hire somebody, we'd go out to bid on it, we'd hire somebody to do that, but then that money dried up and went away, so we haven't had anybody to do it.
Right. But if you could all do it at the same time Kittatinny's doing it, I think you'd have a much better.
Well, that would take a lot of coordination.
Right.
But I think now it's just opening it up to all the towns. Just involve your group. And we have a lot of volunteer groups, so we're rather in a good position to do this, I think. If the groups wish to do it, if it fits, you know, if there's a match. I was thinking of beautification because there's always so much going on there. Another job. Or maybe the youth group would be better, or maybe even the Boy Scouts would be better. There is something, you know, this email just skipped right by, but NYSERDA came and did an energy audit for UDC. And out of that came some kind of additional funding that we might be able to receive for our solar projects. And Tony's not here, and he's the one that picked up on that. So you know about this, Carol?
I don't know about that, no.
Okay.
I know Tony's got a, yeah, exactly.
Copy email to Carol. The pedestrian links letter was approved, that we asked for some support in our plan to make Narrowsburg a more walkable town, and that was approved. The DEC was looking for river monitors, and there were plenty of suggestions for them. And the Park Service continues with this GIS mapping of the corridor, which really, I think, will come together because the technology gets better and better. And eventually that would be accessible to Planning Board or anyone else who wants the exact delineation of the corridor. And I think that's it. If anybody has any questions.
Beautification.
Actually, we meet tomorrow.
Okay.
To discuss the Golden Feather. I don't think there's anything else to report. Do you, Star? There's been work started in that the Main Street merchants have started to plant their window boxes and different things. Anything else?
Just that there was going to be more discussion about the possible use of Golden Feather funds for various projects, including the energy upgrades for the town, and that's going to really be contingent on getting that,
the audit done.
yes, the energy audit for going forward.
So LDC, no meeting, as far as I understand. Energy Committee. Yeah, I don't think you have anything new.
No,
The bids went out, the RFP went out. We did have some complications with the survey. I had that on here, but I'll just go over it now. The survey wound up, they ran into complications because everything's so pieced up there. And so it's taking a little bit longer than they initially expected, so I think he's hoping to have that done and shortly, as soon as they can. So a lot more research and whatnot, I guess, was required. So. Zoning rewrite, we just met last night. Carol?
Yep, the zoning rewrite committee met at Tusten Town Hall on May 12th. The committee discussed the following. Comments received on the proposed zoning amendments as a result of the public hearing and open comment period. The county's 239 review of the proposed amendments and changes, additions to the proposed amendments as a result of public comment. Any edits will be reviewed and voted on by the committee in preparation for its recommendations to the town board, which should take place in a couple of months.
Is Palmer still part of that process? Okay.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
Yep.
Is he getting everything finished up finally?
Yes, we should have everything finished up hoping to, by next week. The end of next week, and then we'll, yeah.
You look at it, you need
And then is there public comment? Is there
Not
public-
again, no. We already had the public hearing.
Comment.
We
So have
reviewed it
that-
last evening, and
Yes.
we're gonna do an electronic vote through the members of the board, so we don't have to meet again to get it done by Friday.
And then you present that to the town board?
Yes, yeah, you'll all get an email with the whole, zoning law in it, and then we have a month or so to go over it, and then we'll
Good.
put it on. Did we decide June or
July.
July, to give
July.
everybody more time?
We're going to have our meeting just before our next June
Right.
meeting here.
Right,
You know, the holidays screwed us up, Memorial Day screwed us up.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, could I just make one correction with the beautification group? That meeting that was supposed to be tomorrow, I think they changed that to the 21st. They sent around an email on that, so just so if anybody wanted to come.
21st at 4?
Yeah, same thing, same time, same place, but different day.
Right here.
Yeah.
And we're at the old business. Narrowsburg School. I don't have anything else to report. Jane, do you?
I don't.
Anybody else?
Carol, has anybody investigated putting a charter school in there?
Yes.
Some people have in the past, not myself, but it's expensive and it's hard to do. And it's tough. You really gotta have some go-getters to really run that the right way, the way it has to be done and whatnot, so it's a
Yeah.
big job.
And you
you
have a
have to get
declining
approval
population base here too.
You have to get approval from the
From
school
state ed department
and
as
the
well.
state ed,
Yeah.
because all of the students that go to the charter school, then the state aid goes to the charter school and does not go to the school.
Yeah, so the
So
school
it-
district winds up
yeah.
having to approve it, which really kinda doesn't make sense to me, but,
I was just curious, I mean, they
Yeah.
claim that the charter schools turn out tremendous kids.
yeah.
Some of them do, it's not
Yeah,
across
depends
the
on
board.
how it's run, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of work, I know. I know some people, Allison Smith, years ago, they looked into doing a charter school in Damascus, actually, I think, so, and, yeah. Solar energy, like I said, the survey complications, that'll be done shortly, and then we can move on with that. We're finding, I know that Brandy said at the last meeting, we're maybe too big for the little guy and too small for the big guy, so if we don't get more of a response this time with our RFP, I'm trying to entertain the idea of collaborating with either other school districts or other townships to make it more of a bigger project. So that way somebody else can,
Don't we have two bids in, Carol?
we have two now, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a
So,
start.
That's a start, yeah.
And,
That's
and
definitely
if
a
they're,
start.
and if we choose one of them, then it's a go,
Yeah,
One bid.
yeah.
We only have one thing.
right? What's that, one bid?
One bid.
The Sally?
Yeah, he
Or-
took it back.
Oh, we took it back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we only have one.
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
Hopefully it's a winner.
okay. Dog kennel update, Norm?
Lynn got the
Yep.
pad in, it's in
Pad in.
place, we have the drain set, so now we can put out a set of plans and ask for the pre-construction people to fit us up. And give us some quotes on what it would
Yeah.
cost us,
So,
and go forward with that, put that out.
okay, so you'll be working on that?
Yep.
Okay,
Job, Norm and Glenn.
A lot
So,
more than anything else.
I'll move that we authorize Councilman Meyer to, along in conjunction with the town clerk, to advertise, quotes for the dog kennel.
Do we have a number of kennels we need
Do you
doing?
wanna say prefab?
Do we have what?
The number of rooms or houses or whatever?
We're gonna have 3 dogs.
What's that?
3 dogs.
I actually put drains in so you couldn't put a fourth.
Yeah, we can put a 4th in if we have to.
Okay.
That's- Yeah, 3
Just in case.
standard, 1 as a backup.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted, I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
If we get a little mommy with puppies or something, I don't know what to come in handy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Property adjoining the highway barn update, I sent the letter to the real property, committee for review, waiting to hear back from them, I think they meet in 2 days. I don't expect any problems with that, though.
Did you do 11?
Pardon?
Did you do 11?
Do 11?
Emergency.
Yes,
Oh,
we're doing it
emergency
right now.
management,
Oh.
management plan update, no, I didn't, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Skipped right over it. We met as a committee and, we're almost finished. So, I just emailed, John Condino from Barton and LaJudas, he's our consultant, and we should have, a final draft by next week. So that'll go to the committee, and then we'll look to approve that and get it to the town board for approval. And, that should be complete then we can go to print. So, looking forward to getting that project done as well.
Carol, on the property joining the Howie barn, I talked to, I called that fellow up that authored that letter that was sent to us about that. Cause he,
About,
the property joining, is this the highway barn? Is this the, for the cell tower?
no.
No, okay. 'Cause that's right in that same area.
Okay, yeah, no, I know, I spoke with him as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
So, yep. Discussion Golden Feather Award, do we need any further discussion on that?
Is
or-
there anything that the town would like? I mean, we keep going that round and round and in this committee. Is there something the town specifically would find useful? Other than, I mean,
Or energy updates, like you said, but that's dependent on the audit.
Can I make a suggestion?
do
This
have
comes
one.
from your master plan that you guys, you put together. That triangle in front of Jeff Clementi's office.
I can't hear you. The triangle in front of what?
Clementi's office, 97
Yeah.
and coming down. I thought that was kind of a very interesting idea of beautifying that, because it's like when you see it all the time, you don't see it as anything other than what it is. But I think it could be beautiful.
That
And it's
particular
highly
Golden
visible.
Feather money may not be used for that.
Oh,
Golden
okay.
Feather money is used for capital, capital purchases. essentially.
Jane, how about down on the flat, I'm not cutting you off, am I, Susan?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I answered my question.
Okay, thanks. How about down on the flats if we expanded the playground for the kids and
That is
upgraded
one
that?
of the, that is.
Bleachers?
I think that would be wonderful. I mean, that
That
would
is
be a
one of the,
great.
one on the list. That is
Bleachers for the
something on
ball
the
field.
list.
Yeah, bleachers. yeah.
Well, I'll donate the equipment. I have all kind of equipment. If you want to expand that or something, I'll definitely help you with that.
You could do extra.
That would be a
second set,
fantastic
maybe
thing for
even
the
a third
kids.
set.
It is on the list. Okay, well, I mean,
Yeah, if anybody, Circle Park down in Lumber, they have an amazing
Yes.
park.
Wow.
It's, yeah,
that was Renaissance
yeah,
Grounds
yeah.
that did that.
yeah. That would be nice. I wanna contact the lumber company and see if we can maybe come to some kind of agreement where we could lease or have a right of way on the end of that lot where the old mill was, and maybe utilize that. Just put some crusher run in, not a paved parking area, but get some more parking for that playground area down there, cause that's really needed too, cause it's really dangerous down there.
Yeah,
with kids running
ballpark night
around
is
and,
not good down there.
yeah. So I'm thinking if we could,
Maybe that instead
maybe
of
work
bleachers,
with that.
improve that field.
I have two other ideas. Would
Yeah,
love
two
to
more
have
bleachers.
AEDs for the town hall. The Coles, yeah, that would be huge.
What's that? I'm sorry, what is that?
AEDs.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let the old people die like us. We need some stuff for the kids.
and, or
I
towards a
can't do that.
generator for the building, or for
Oh, a
matching funds.
generator.
For the
Backup
deck?
generator would be good.
Yeah,
Matching
I
funds
was
for the
thinking that
deck.
today, they should have one here in this
I mean,
building.
these are more ideas.
Yeah, well, considering this is your shelter, it should have a backup generator.
Pardon?
Can you use Golden Feather
But
for
they
that?
won't need one.
Yes.
24
Yes, as a matter of, what, which one are you talking about?
Defibrillators? Is that what they were talking about?
Yes, you can
Yeah,
use it
that's
for that.
infrastructure.
What about a generating system for this building that would come
That's
on
what I'm thinking.
automatically?
Yeah,
You could do that too.
That makes
That'd
more
be
sense.
simple.
like I said, this is your emergency shelter. It should
Yeah,
have
you
one.
could make, you know, we could use it all for emergency, upgrades
There-
throughout town.
John's also gonna get back to me though, I asked him about grant monies for that, if they knew if anything was out there, and he said there may be, so, I gotta talk to him again about that, find out.
Okay.
So if we can get more grant money somewhere else for a generator, I'd rather use Golden Feather money someplace where we can utilize
Yeah.
other grant monies, you
Yeah,
know, so.
like down at Flats,
Yeah.
improving that ball field and the kids
Yeah,
there.
that's
That's-
kind of a having deal.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
Should be one to note down.
Ideals.
let's see. TAP grant update.
Well, it was an interesting process. I brought the grant with me in case there's questions. First of all, I'd like to thank Iris Helfeld, who spent the better part of a day in the whistle stop with me editing, and we did that through lunch and dinner. She also obtained for the grant submission letters of support from Bonasek, Gunther, who else? Bonasek, Gunther, well, about 4 different people. And what we did, there have been changes, so the board has to know about the changes. The original notion was to put a connection between the 2 parking lots, the parking lot at, behind the bank and then coming over to Bridge Street, essentially connecting this one. The property owner had decided that she no longer wants to give permission at this time, so that fell through. So I put in instead for replacement of the sidewalks along Bridge Street. And we all knew that that was 20% that we would be responsible for. I thought that we could get most of that in kind or whatever services, which we did get most of it, but the way I figured it anyway, it'd probably cost us about $11,000 to do that, which I still think is extremely reasonable. Then the other issue was the underpass at the railroad. The railroad has been so cooperative, and it's amazing. They gave permission first. Secondly, they said that they would close the railroad down for 3 days to do a top-down construction to put in a precast form for pedestrians to go through. The problem with that was, although it's not in the minutes, so I don't even have to repeat it, but I did promise that it wouldn't cost the town anything, and that's why you gave me permission to do it. So the cost for that estimate is $500,000 or $500,000, which 20% then is $100,000, which we are not going to pay. So I figured, what the heck, I'll call the railroad and say, so can you come up with $100,000? She said, absolutely not. However, she said there is a new grant that just came out, and it is for railroad improvements, and municipalities are eligible to apply. So I called the TAP person in Binghamton to ask if we applied for that, could that be used as our matching funds for this? And he said, yes.
And is that a matching fund grant as well? Or
No.
No. Beautiful.
So I am in the process of doing that. And he said, just make it perfectly clear on the TAP grant that you will not do it and cannot afford it unless you get that other match.
Right.
And I did make it perfectly clear, I hope. The bottom line is that because of Iris's help, we were able to get it in for the pre-review, which was last Wednesday, And I received an email that said that we will have comments by the end of this week, so.
Perfect.
So it's
Thank you very
moving
much.
along.
Yeah,
Good, good
and
job.
thank you, Iris. Much appreciated. Okay, geotech for the Riverwalk. I did not receive an email from Larry that they are completely finished, but they're not here anymore, so I'm assuming that they're done.
I heard they
were
made
here.
it down to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
He stopped in the office and said they were done.
Oh, we did. Okay.
That's what he told Karen.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
And then, so then he'll have a report for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then we'll have CDs on that on the deck based on that. So that's what we're waiting for.
And this
to
is, and this
change
will
the funding
allow us to
for the grant.
reappropriate that grant?
If we can.
If we can.
Yeah. Yes. If it's not cost prohibitive. So that's what we're waiting on. So. I'm gonna throw one thing in here before we go to the fire district. Lights on the bridge. I don't know if anybody's noticed. We've got 3 of them working. I'd like authorization from the board to get quotes for fixing the one. Apparently the bulb exploded inside of the fixture. So Rick's done in-kind service for us. He's volunteered his services, so we greatly appreciate his help. Although this is a little more work than, you know.
Yeah, well,
So, yeah, so either get quotes or just authorize Rick to go ahead and do it. We've used him in the past, so.
I think
Just do it
authorize
not
Rick
to
do
exceed,
it.
right?
Yeah.
No?
Okay,
Yeah, that's
Just
all.
do it not to exceed, right?
Yeah.
okay, so not to
You
exceed.
need a fixture, right? We may need to buy a
But-
fixture.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah.
I just bought a fixture too for an outside light, and it was like $400 for those LEDs, but they last forever. So why don't we do a not to exceed for $500?
Okay, so,
500,000, I'd be comfortable with 1,000. If you don't know what you're gonna run into when something exploded, so I'd say 1,000 would be
yeah, I
safe.
don't know what's there. I
and
don't know
if
if we have to
it's- and
replace
if
the
that
whole
doesn't
pole
make
in the
it, she can come
wiring
back to
or
us.
what,
Okay.
so.
That's all.
Okay, so authorize the supervisor to hire Rick Maloney to fix the one light fixture on the bridge, not at a cost not to exceed $1,000.
I'll second it.
So who made the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Norm, Ned, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Fire district increase that was omitted from the tax roll. Discussion on that. Very complicated. I told you about this before. The fire district's increase was not in our budget. We don't have a line item in our budget to do. It's, their budget gets submitted via the town clerk to the county. And then they get their increase because their budget made it to the county or whatnot. It's kind of a messed up way to do it. I don't know why they don't have you guys submit it directly, but at any rate,
Wait, is this both fire departments or just one?
Well,
it's the district,
Okay.
not the department, it's the district. So that process somehow didn't get completed. I spoke with Carol today also. She remembers having something that I had to post a note in to go to the county. So you're fairly certain that she sent it. I don't know where the mess up was in the chain of things, so we're not sure. So I don't know whether, yeah, it doesn't matter. The point is it didn't get levied. They're out 14,000 and.
982.
Okay. So.
It's the whole fire district or just Narrowsburg?
Narrowsburg.
How about Lab?
No, separate.
I understand that, but if you're out money, how come they're not out money?
It's a separate district.
They're a protection district, not a fire district.
Okay.
So I've had a couple of discussions with Alan, or both. I've spoke with a gentleman in the New York State Controller's office. I spoke with their legal department, one of their attorneys. He basically told me there's nothing you can do, but there is one case that they've had years ago that the town could possibly, and we're not sure if this has to go to referendum or not. Jeffrey I talked to earlier, he can't make it. He had an accident, so he can't make it tonight. So I don't want to decide anything tonight, but
Well, next month then.
I figure we could recess as well.
Mhm.
I don't know whether it'll have to go to referendum or if we can just do a local law.
My understanding is that it has to be a local law,
Okay.
and in order to do that, I guess you have to go have a public hearing and all that.
Correct.
I thought originally it could be a resolution, but that, it can't be that. So it's gotta be a local law. Just to give some, maybe you gave this background, but the background on this is that the Narrowsburg Fire District prepares a budget every year, and for many years, that budget was kept at a zero increase. This year, we had to increase the budget because there's state mandates that we had to comply with. That increase was approximately $15,000, and there's 5 specific mandates that we were trying to cover with that $15,000. One of the suggestions or questions was, can we go through this year without getting that extra money? And the answer is no, because we have to be in compliance with the mandates, and some of the mandates are here for the firemen who are employees of the district, and some other things, radios and personal escape systems that should be on the trucks, and inoculations. And those are the things that we were trying to cover with this money. We've already went through the inoculation process, or almost to the end of it. The personal escape systems, we were trying to locate ones that were less costly than what we estimated, but it seems as though we can't. So these are the things. It's not like we're just saying, okay, we need $15,000 extra. These are specific items that we're looking for. If we went through this year without that extra money, next year we would have to raise more money in addition to what we didn't get this year, but also what we need to comply with next year. So it would be a tax burden on the taxpayers, raising it.
Al, does the fire department have any funds in reserve for situations like this? For, let's say you went out and you had the jaws of life, and let's say they got burned up in a scene. I'm just throwing something out. How would you guys reimburse yourself? How would you guys buy new equipment? Is there any money in reserves to cover these type of costs, or?
No, the type of thing that you're referring to, no, there's not. We do have money in reserve for the replacement of fire trucks, and each year we try to put away about $20,000, because every 10 years we have to do something with a truck or a vehicle of some kind, and that's what we have the money reserved for. It's specific, it's a capital reserve for the purchase of fire trucks. So yeah, an emergency type thing like that, no, we don't. We'd have to go to Bruce and ask Bruce if Lava could lend us theirs. So.
For a certain percentage, yes.
Ned, if I can just make a distinction, it's important not to confuse the fire department with the fire district. The fire district is the tax entity, but as Al said, it's also by statute considered the employer of the fire department or the firefighters, even though they're all volunteer. It's the district's responsibility to provide for basically safety and fire protection. It's not the fire department's actual responsibility, although in Narrowsburg, people have been very fortunate. I think the taxpayer has been fortunate because the fire department actually bought 2 of the 4 trucks that sit in the firehouse right now. Over the years, the fire department was buying turnout gear, the jaws of life, things of that, where it was never their responsibility. If you go to other fire districts in the county, the only thing that the fire department really functions is to bring in new members, and everything else is the fire district's responsibility. Here, a system evolved that kind of split, but through training and education at the district level, we're learning that it's our responsibility, like to provide these hepatitis inoculations, the escape systems, the turnout gear, things of that nature. So that's a quick primer on,
No, I appreciate
on
that.
the
That's
difference.
helpful.
Yeah, so the issue is whether or not the town can pass a local law and then the town give the $14,800 and some odd dollars that their shortfall was this year. That may be possible. Jeffrey's looking into it a little bit more over the next couple of days, and then I think what we'll do is we'll recess to discuss it with him while he's here. The other, I just had a thought today, and this was just a passing thought, I don't know if this would be a possibility or not. If, and I know either way it's gonna hit the taxpayers. So the attorney at the comptroller's office, his biggest issue with it was that it's, if we take out from the general fund, you're taking from all the taxpayers to fund the fire district, where on the tax bills, the fire district does not hit all the taxpayers in the town. So that was his biggest issue with it. Now, there is that one case that he cited that if you can prove that it serves to protect and nurture the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens, that you might be able to do it. But again, you're hitting all the taxpayers and not just the district taxpayers. So
And the
I
district,
had a thought.
the district care would be just the district that Narrowsburg Fire Department serves, right? Not all of the Tusten voters, right?
Well, that, yes and no.
Yes and no,
The
yeah.
The fire district is basically, say, Hunts Corners to Big Bend and the river. But the practice is, due to short staffing between Lavette and Narrowsburg for the past 10 years or so, right? We have run automatic aid on every single call. So if the alarm is out in Beaver Brook, if it's out on the Coshecton line, the assets from the Narrowsburg Fire Department, which may or may not be owned by the district, depending, respond to every one of those calls. So,
Does it go the other way too?
yeah,
Right.
obviously.
Right. So, and then my other thought was the possibility of, because you're gonna, like I said, if we give you our money, we're gonna have to make up that shortfall in our town funds. You know what I mean? It's not like we could just take $15,000 out of our budget and hand it over.
We have to scrounge that money up
So
someplace.
we're gonna have to come up with that from the taxpayers next year too. So we'll have to probably exceed the tax cap and whatnot as well. My thought was if there's, I'm gonna have Jeffrey look into this, if you guys could do like a bond anticipation note and do your increase that you had planned for this year as well as the one you have planned for next year. And then we could maybe pass a local law that the town could pay the interest on that. So that would actually save, yeah, well, that's not really gonna save money, that's actually gonna cost more money.
What's the local law gonna say?
Well, the local law is to authorize the town to
Pay the money
pay the money to the fire district.
to make them whole again.
And then the
Pay
biggest
shortfall.
issue is
Mhm.
that you're taking from one taxing entity and giving to
One
I
specific
another.
and it's not the whole
Can
town.
you, if the town pays it, can you reimburse yourself next year just out of the fire district? Because that is a specific district.
I don't know if it's legal for them to then pay the town. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you
Is that-
increased your budget, you see what he's saying? If you
Yeah,
put,
but I think, I really don't know, Ken, what the answer is.
Yeah.
That would put it on the
Yeah,
properties it's supposed to be on.
that makes a lot of sense, really does.
yeah, I'd asked him about, sending out a second tax bill and whatnot, so we came up with a lot of different ideas, but none of them are legal.
That's
So-
the easiest and the fastest. That makes the most sense.
And can we just
Yeah.
back up, because I want to understand how this happened? Our fire district sends their budget to the county, and
They give it to the town clerk of the town in which they reside.
Okay,
fire
tell-
district resides. And the town clerk sends that to the county. Now, if the county did not receive it, this is the problem I have. If the county didn't receive it, and I haven't had a chance to call them yet, I wanna call them too. They didn't receive the budget.
Why didn't they call?
Why didn't they call somebody and say, hey guys, we didn't receive the budget?
Received what Al's talking about, and what was put on the tax bills was the 20-year before's amount.
Correct.
So first of all, our tax bills are done by an outside firm. That firm held up our bills a little bit this year because they were waiting for final information from the county. So, Carolyn, my question is, if you had to provide this to the tax bill preparer, it's a line item on the tax bill, and you're sitting there with a year ago budget, because it's dated, then why didn't somebody call down here and say, we don't have your updated budget for 2013 tax bill, number one?
We
Just a simple question, and I may be really off base, but wouldn't sending something registered mail where somebody has to sign for it preclude all this? Because then you have a signature of somebody who signed for it, and if they say, we didn't get anything, so for the $3 and $4, it would seem that that would take care of the whole situation. Hello, here's this person's name.
Well, wait a minute. I was at the budget meetings and we had Craig Burkle come in on behalf of the ambulance department this year with his issues. And we had Barbara Buckman was here with your information.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody from the Narrowsburg Fire Department came. But we had all those figures at that budget meeting, and there was never any request for any additional monies from any.
Al and I had talked about their budget. He explained the reason for the increase and whatnot, but it doesn't. We don't have that line item in our budget, so their budget goes to the county. That line item.
There's
goes
a line
that way.
item that says Narrowsburg Fire District.
Yes, but
yes, it does.
But it's not their full budget.
That's a contract, that's.
Yeah, that's the contract. It's not their taxes.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
What's what the town pays for fire protection.
Right. We contract, the town of Tusten contracts with the Narrowsburg Fire District for fire protection. So that's that line item, and we increase that by 2% or 3%.
Yes.
And we always increase that on a kind of.
That's separate and apart from the tax.
Yeah, that's separate from the tax levy that the district receives.
Okay, but where does that, who sends that? The individual fire department send that to the county without going through the town?
No, the fire district presents it to the town, and the town forwarded.
So that's my point.
You never got it.
We never get, okay, but again, we did discuss the fire district. I mean, there's a line item in our budget, Narrowsburg Fire District. I don't have it with me.
Right.
The contract, and this is a different amount?
Yes.
Yes.
But we never received it?
We don't go over that. We don't have any say in that. They set their own budget.
I understand
That
that.
goes
Let's
to
say
the
they want to have a
county, gets
10%
levied on.
increase. Let's say they want to have a 10% increase. And the taxpayers then would say no or yes, when?
We have no
They
say
don't.
over the number.
We have a
All we're
public hearing.
all we are is a handoff agency for them.
We have a public hearing mandated by law, it's in October, usually the 15th or so. We had that public hearing
At the fire
after,
department or?
yeah, it's at the, it can be anywhere, but it's held, it's advertised.
Okay.
Then we vote on the budget. You know, we take input, if anybody shows up, we would increase, decrease, whatever. And then the budget is prepared and brought to the town clerk, 2 certified copies as required by law.
Okay.
And from that point on, it's the town clerk's position, apparently forwards it to the tax entities out at the government center.
And Carol, you're saying that you never received that?
Al, what did you give that to? Do you remember?
It was given, I don't know. I can't, it may have been Karen.
Okay, because I don't remember seeing it at all.
But it was in an envelope and it was certified and it was, notarized, so.
But it's, a certified would go through the mail though, wouldn't just be,
No,
you know what I mean?
No, I don't mean it was mail certified, I mean it was
Therefore-
certified because it was notarized.
But that you did before you handed it in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, somewhere, it was just a mess. Somewhere in the chain of communications, it didn't make it to where it needed to go.
It becomes our problem.
So, yeah, so now it's a problem, and I mean, you don't want to let the guys go without Scott packs or whatever you need to replace by law, it's,
I think almost at
So.
a point in time when they do this from now on, get a signed receipt for this.
yeah.
Put it through the mail.
No more. Yeah,
Put it through the mail.
Just drop an
Good idea.
office. You gotta get a signed receipt.
Well, how about Kenny's idea moving forward though?
Well, yeah, but again, we'd have to, if we took the money and gave it to them, we still need to pass a local law in order to do that by law.
We'd still need
So-
to.
I don't know that you
Yeah.
can do that, probably.
What do you mean?
I don't know that you can do it.
Right, exactly, yeah, Jeffrey's finishing looking into it.
Alright.
He spoke with the attorneys at
We'll
the
have to wait.
comptroller's office as well. It's, the case that that attorney cited, he said it's old, so he's not sure,
So
yeah,
we're running in circles until we have a legal opinion.
yeah.
But wouldn't
Why don't we
wouldn't
just
it
postpone it?
wouldn't a
Yeah.
legal opinion should not come from your State Department or wherever you're talking to this gentleman you're talking to?
He's speaking with Jeffrey. I
Let them
spoke with
work
him,
it
Al
out.
spoke with him, and now the two attorneys are speaking to each other. He said, you know, it's up to our local attorney, it's not up to him. But he's gotta do more research, so.
Just to answer your question, that, when I spoke to him, he said it was an old opinion of the controller's office. It was back in 1990, but it dealt with a school district and a garden. And because the garden was a benefit to the taxpayers, all they had to do was pass a local law and to give the community garden or whatever it was the money, and that would work. He said that it's not specific to a fire district, because a fire district in the state law is an enigma. They don't really know what it is. It's just, it's a local government, basically. So, he said, but he felt that, you know, that particular opinion would apply in this particular case. And he didn't think that would be a problem, as long as there was a local law adopted.
I'm just making everybody more
Yep.
confused.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming and helping explain. Okay, so we'll postpone that till the next meeting. We'll probably recess. New business. Purchase of the parcel next to the fire department. I sent out a doodle request to everybody, not everybody responded, so, and we were running short on time. The realtor was going away, so she'll be back in the office on the 19th. She does have to make an appointment with the owner to actually show the house, so I'd like to send out another doodle request to everybody.
Yeah,
And,
Carol, I think, I mean, I'm not for this purchase at all, but I think, because I was talking to, actually Ed, you and I had a discussion about it in the town hall, and a good piece of that, a good piece of that property is owned by the railroad, I believe.
That's
actually
true.
owned,
Correct.
yeah, owned
Yeah.
by,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's the other problem I have with it. Let's have we have an engineer. Let's have an engineer go over this building, see what this cost if we wanted to do anything. Let's not go into this blind and do a purchase. Let's find out if it's gonna be brought up to the code we have to bring it up to. What's it gonna cost us?
Right. But why do we wanna expand the town government to start with? I don't understand it, because parking is really negligible. I mean, I looked at the lot, it's tiny. And then you'd have to take the house down to really have any parking. But why do we want to expand town government, take another property off the tax rolls, then you have to pay for the heat, the upkeep, the capital cost, plus the purchase price? Why?
Needs a lot of work. Also,
Well, all the offices upstairs are illegal.
Yeah.
Ed, that
Well, if you
that
could-
has to be brought into ADA compliance? I mean,
Yeah,
you're
but
talking.
you could, a ramp up to that would be a lot easier than a ramp to the second floor here.
Then, are we talking about selling this building and then moving over there?
No, the upstairs offices would move
I
over
don't
there.
think that would work.
Why, Ed? Why the cost?
Why have we been buying all the property up by the land, by the town hall, town shed? I mean, we're constantly purchasing property for the last 20 years. Maybe it's time we start thinking about using a piece of that property. It makes more sense, it's more centrally located and everything
We
else.
actually have that much up there, I mean.
Yeah, we probably.
Consolidate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got our buildings in the middle of both of the parcels.
I just hope you bring all your politics up there, you put it in the back corner away from me.
We have a sled processing plant right up the road.
You got the kind of dog shit.
This is another
Trail.
issue that was
Over
brought
that
up,
way.
okay, there's a couple things, I mean, one thing I would like to get resolved is our pod issue with our records. It is an atrocious way to treat our permanent records, our long-term records. I mean, some are only 3 years, okay, not a problem, but it's bad.
Any
So we
reason
need a
those
records
files
room.
can't be put in the room on some bricks and start using them? They're sitting there?
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, 3 years
Those
they're
are-
going on sitting
I
there.
think those are for the justice.
Right, but they have room in their back room. Why don't they
Yes.
put them up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If they
Yeah,
don't want them on the
we
floor
do,
because
yeah.
of moisture, put them on the brick.
Thank you.
yes. That's actually, I was sitting here last night looking at those going on.
Yeah,
I need to talk to
we've
those
looked at
guys
them for
about
so
that,
many
yeah.
years.
Digitalize everything.
Well, yes, and that's another grant, which there's not much grant money out there. When I was town clerk, I wanted to do a grant for, to put everything on, either microfiche or disk, and the grant monies from the state ed department dried up, so, we never got it done. But, so that's one thing. Another thing is our issue of parking, that we could eventually, I walked a lot, and Jane walked a lot, and I think Tony walked a lot. I think we could probably wind up getting, at least from the bank parking lot, the town parking lot in the back there, through, if you got a right of way on maybe part of Jane's property, or we might not even need it, I'm not sure.
No, you do.
But she
Okay.
doesn't even wanna let us do the
Well,
walkway
she,
through the
at
property.
this time,
At this
she
time.
said.
But let's look
No,
at
I'm
the
not gonna
cost
make a
of
purchase
this.
on it
Let's
this
look at the
time.
cost of this. It's a huge cost. Why?
So just knock it down, just make parking out of it?
Yeah.
Well,
And then
hold
if the
on, we're not
railroad
at
says
public
no?
comment yet. So, well, it's also has to go up for public referendum, so it's not
Yeah.
like we can just sit here and say, hey, we wanna buy this and we're
Right.
going to buy it. It's the
It
public
was
will
part of the
make
master
this-
plan to
Yeah.
expand the municipal district.
And
You
in fact,
you
that
could put
building
a,
specifically is in the master plan.
it was
Yeah.
specifically.
Still got
And
the-
it's also,
To
we
make a
mentioned the-
senior center, you
master
could do
plan.
that, you could,
Wow.
Well, why are we, again, why, and I'm on the same page as Norm, if we wanna if we wanna invest in a building like Lake Huntington, like Coshecton did, and we did put away the money, and we didn't have to increase the tax rolls, the tax burden on the community, you put away the money and with a plan to build up by the town highway department where there is a lot of land, and you can make an ADA compliant building, and you can get rid of this building, which is a lot of
I
money.
brought that up at the
I
master
we
plan
both looked at it
design,
in the
yes,
master
we
plan,
did.
We got shot in the foot.
And it-
Well, it's okay,
yeah.
now
Well,
we're
that's
talking,
fine for them, but that's all, we're talking about the whole town.
Right,
not
right.
just a certain-
right.
I agree with you 100%. I said that we should buy the Kelly property. Right across the road from the town barn.
You're okay.
And make a town complex with a pool and a tennis court and the whole thing.
Put the Cortez property in there too.
But anyway, you do it, over a period of time where you store away the money, you get a grant, and then we make the move like Lake Huntington or Coshecton did. What a beautiful facility.
yeah, but they're in the middle of no place too.
No, no.
I'm sorry, that's a
And here
beautiful
he's
facility.
donating
It is a nice
everything.
facility, I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's in the middle of no place.
Yeah, well, this one you're.
But they don't have anything to have in the,
They've got the
we
town highway
have
department.
everything right here. It
Well,
makes
We don't have
sense to me.
room, we don't have room, we don't have an ADA compliant building, we have a lot
Well,
of
that I
issues here.
think is why
Well,
this
it's
is
still
being
not gonna give us
proposed.
the room, really.
So at any rate, I'd still like to,
Not time for
Public comments coming,
I would
right up. Public comments.
I'd like to-
Resolution for the, send quotes out for, stucco and painting.
yeah, okay, hold on one second. I still wanna go over the building, so we'll send out another doodle request if everybody wants to see the building, we'll make an appointment with the realtor to do so. You want a resolution to,
Put quotes out for stucco work on the back here that has to be done, according to the engineer, was one of the priorities, and painting that has to get done this year.
okay, what specifically on the back, just
All the
stucco?
trim, everything else has gotta be
Trim.
replacement and painting, or else
Okay.
we're gonna start losing ground rapidly.
Okay, so I'll move that we authorize Councilman Meyer along with the town clerk to advertise for
Excuse,
quotes.
before you do that, Carol, excuse me, Norm, wasn't there also an issue with the drainage that he wanted addressed?
I think we'll put that in with the stucco. Straighten out the drainage at the same time in the back there of that drain.
Okay, that might have to be two different
We'll have to
quotes
put in
though,
two quotes then.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you
It's
might
no
not get
problem.
the same people,
Yeah, we'll put, I'll put an extra quote in for the drainage,
Yeah.
resolving the drainage
but
problem.
the drainage, I thought we had discussed that,
Well, she's just talking about correcting that pipe over the back where the stucco is and stuff, instead of having the angle come down.
okay, you're
it
not
should be-
talking about the side of the building here.
No,
I was, but that's,
No,
that's
that's gonna be a
There's
different-
also some drain pipes that have to be corrected in the back too,
yeah,
downspouts.
that's what he
Yeah.
said, the downspouts had to be corrected.
Because some of this, I thought we just decided that we'd do in-house when the highway department had
Yeah.
time,
right, okay,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
yeah,
the stuff that's where the stucco is, and that's on the back.
we love you, Glenn.
That dog
Come on, Glenn, it's a day's work.
All the time, Glenn.
Day's work, there's no such thing. When they say a day's work, it usually turns into a week.
A week at a day.
I'm
But
getting one
you're
of
good
those-
at what you do, so.
On the side of the building, you want that dug up, and how far down? Down to the bottom of it?
To the foot.
The drain plug?
Right.
down to the foot.
And what about isn't there air conditioning units out here? Isn't there stairways out here?
They
They're
hang
gonna have to be cut
Stairways.
off. Stairways in our way, we could take the cutting torch,
Good, we'll replace them.
cut them right off. What else you gonna do with them?
They have to gotta come down anyhow.
Didn't it say, it didn't say in the report those stairs are rotten anyway?
Yeah, they're gonna be coming out of there anyhow, replaced if we
They have
want
to be replaced.
Well, we have to get quotes on that before you do that.
Yeah, that'd have to go off the
Yeah.
quote. The stair replacement quote, but the rest of it, once they're gone, we just replace.
When do you guys want this done?
Whenever it's in your schedule.
You tell me when you want it done. I'm better at getting things done when you tell me when you want it done.
Why don't we go out to bid then, when you're doing your other, and on the steps and replacing those,
Okay.
the metal? And then once that, we have that and it's approved by the board, then you can do that and then we can replace them, Clint.
You'll be better off if it's towards the end of the summer for us anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. You wanna wait until
Yeah,
your,
there's no
your
immediate-
major
Hopefully it'll
work
dry
season's
up some
done.
too by then and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And you're just talking about a perimeter drain down this side of the building.
You don't want to be working
Not the
on this
daylight.
Labor Day weekend with tomorrow Maine either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a thing too. Wait till after Labor Day when the
Yeah.
campgrounds slow down, so you ain't got
Yeah.
all the traffic out here.
Yeah.
We'll have to put up, what do you call them there? Blocks,
Yeah.
you know, big
Nice-
concrete blocks.
Nice fall day.
Jersey use the new underpass.
Jersey barriers, there you go, that's one
They
name.
can use
Mafia blocks.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have
like
enough of
mafia
them,
blocks better.
Glenn, do you have enough of them?
Well, mafia blocks?
Those-
Nah, I'd have to buy some.
I can give you some just to use for this.
Well,
I got
to be honest with you, we can use them because we got some pipes we're gonna have to put in.
Yeah.
And they work great, cause we stacked them
Yeah,
up for,
that's
you
what
know,
we do, yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we'll authorize Norm along with the town clerk to advertise for bids for the stucco, the
Drains,
drains,
painting,
painting,
and the fire exit.
and the fire exit on the town hall. Can I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Carol, could you add the bathroom windows in there too, maybe?
On
Not unless he hits them with the back.
And actually, we really need to do something with those bathrooms.
Yeah,
Well,
they have to be
certainly
completely
windows.
redone.
Well, yeah, but
But
I
they
don't
have to
know.
be redone completely.
If we get rid of the water problem first though, get rid of the water problem first.
Yeah, we gotta fix the water problem,
And
and
then you
then
can
actually
redo
those
that.
windows are so high that if we lower those ceilings, we may not even need windows in there. So yeah, we
That's a
really
whole
need
nother
to,
world
those bathrooms are atrocious.
That was another afternoon here with Glenn.
Under new business, did you wanna add the tower ordinance?
Oh,
Did you wanna
yes, the
discuss
tower
that?
ordinance. The cell tower ordinance, the letter that we got from the UDC.
All right.
Gary, Ed, any thoughts?
We have language in the code already, but I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is. I know there's language in there.
Right, so it's something that we're gonna need to look at.
Mhm.
You wanna take this up in
I wouldn't touch this until after.
no,
Until it's
until
local
after this
done.
is done. When is this gentleman available, though? Like, is this do you know if this is like an immediate thing, or?
I think, okay, the idea of a regional approach makes a lot of sense, right? If we, just us, sat down with this guy and said, this is what we want, fine. But then we would, of course, have to look at somebody else's town who didn't.
Yeah.
So various things have been talked about, like one town making a model ordinance and then everybody else piggybacking off of that, maybe modifying it and stuff, such. I think that my impression is this is the guy's business. He makes presentations. It's entirely up to us when we would have him do it. I think probably the sooner the better. And there are a lot of things that it's important for us to set out in writing. Most of the towns have ordinances and most of them are out of date. Because that
Ours is fresh.
well, our technology, it's a technology thing, it goes fast.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things I remember reading was that if you build a monopole that's painted gray, it's more expensive for them, but it's virtually invisible. Why not? Why not do that? And I think it's good to also do it just in terms of cooperation with other towns.
Yeah,
One of the
my issue is just like, would this gentleman be available in a couple months when we would, the zoning rewrite committee and the board, I think, would really like to move forward with our, the plans that we have in place, everything, the zoning rewrite we've just gone through. Get that done, and then put this on the agenda for the, and I mean, that's something we don't need a consultant for, we can just sit down with committee and this gentleman, and then make a recommendation to the board, so.
Well, how about like you would make a proposal to the town or the planning board or whoever you guys
Right.
decide,
Yep.
not necessarily the whole, you know, at a
Yeah,
whole
the
board
zoning
meeting,
rewrite committee, yeah.
and in August
That sounds good.
or September.
Yeah. I think that would be
Is
reasonable, yeah.
the concern that there's gonna be more cell towers going up, Susan, is that
Very
the?
definitely, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think,
Hundreds and hundreds of them.
okay, I think, now, do we get revenue from these cell towers, the town?
We get revenue from ours.
Right, goes on
That's
town
another
property.
thing that this guy speaks about, because he now advocates for towns, he's worked both sides.
Right.
And so he's definitely interested in helping towns
I
make
just don't
money.
wanna change across the river, is what I'm thinking.
You don't wanna what?
We have a very stringent cell tower policy or law, and all of a sudden, all that revenue goes across the river like everything else. You know,
Well-
I don't want this, I don't want that to happen.
The drift I got from the gentleman's points I heard in the seminar was the fact that you can take any town and increase your revenue off the existing cell tower.
You can
And
increase
that
the
was
revenue, what?
off the cell
existing
tower.
tower.
Yes,
Right.
by how you contract it out and everything else. It's more a question of how you contract your
so-
tower out.
So you don't need a lot of towers, is what you're saying, right?
Well, you'll get more income out of what you have existing for us.
Right.
So maybe we'll have him present to, we'll
Mhm.
just have a joint meeting with the town board and the zoning rewrite committee, and just have him present to
Mhm.
everybody, and then the zoning rewrite
And
committee
at
can
that
discuss in
point,
more
you guys
depth.
could come up with what we already have in place.
Right.
And say, okay, and the UDC would also be interested in knowing what our law says. Like, we were gonna do like a clearinghouse thing, so that all the towns would put their existing laws in. The town of Highland, for instance, and ours too, probably has provisions, anything that's outdated gets removed at their expense,
Right.
that type of provision. So,
Maybe, because we're in transition right now, so Gary, if you wanna send to Travis, I'll give you Travis's email, if you could just send him what we have to date,
Yeah, we're gonna sort of-
and then, that section, just that section, if you could clip that
that
out.
would be very helpful.
Okay,
Right.
okay, thank you very much.
Meeting at the UEC meeting, he's very aggressive and, charismatic, and he basically is like, unless you ask, you're not gonna get it.
Right,
And he really is very good about delineating the questions you can ask.
right.
There's like, he said there's 6 or 7 things that you have to give them, but there's a lot of things you can ask. He's
Well,
like the
I would
music
love to
man,
get
or
Verizon
the
here.
evangelist. He's
And we've
he's
got
kind of amazing.
AT&T, I'd love to get Verizon in here, and we could put
Exactly.
another tower up on the highway barn.
Why should you not make the
Well,
maximum?
the AT&T won't allow Verizon on that tower, so that's why, but we had conversations with Verizon, and then the market dried up, and then they dropped out, so we got AT&T, and now they won't allow Verizon to go on their tower, so we may wind up with an additional tower, who knows?
You know, there might be something about the town can legislate about co-location.
Right.
I don't know what our powers are there, so we need to find out. Okay, August, and Gary will send Travis a copy of our existing.
Our existing and then our proposed maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the UDC is gonna have to review our proposed amendments anyway, the changes that we've made.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Consent agenda, well, we have to change number 19, we don't have the regular meeting minutes. We're just gonna strike those, we have the
Public
special
comment,
meeting.
Carol, public
Oh, I'm
comment.
sorry, yeah, all right. Public comment. Ed?
I don't know how many people in the town are aware of the fact that we have a Revolutionary War hero buried over here in our cemetery. And there's a plaque there that hasn't been refinished, and I would say since it was put up in 1949. I would like to see us put a wreath at his grave every year, I think. Now, that is a hero. He is from he joined George Washington at Gettysburg.
Yeah, I see that.
And I think we should salute him every year on Memorial Day,
I think it'd be a nice.
along with our heroes down here, but I think that's another one we should.
Yeah.
And I really would like to see somehow or other, the plaque was put up by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, to have it refinished again.
Okay.
I don't know who could do that, but, I mean, It's-
What's it made of?
it's a cast like the ones on the road. It's a cast iron
Yeah.
plaque.
Boston
His name is Thomas Dunn.
Done, D-U-N-N?
Yeah. He's just to the left of your father.
Okay, oh, really?
He
Okay.
overlooks your father.
Wow.
And I think it's a shame that that man lays there and we have never paid him tribute.
Okay, I authorize the supervisor, to purchase a wreath for Memorial Day from here on out.
Okay.
to be laid at this man's, to be appropriately placed at his grave.
Why don't we do one for the park too?
We'll do one for both, for Veterans
Right.
Memorial.
We always done one down here.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
We can put them both together.
Yeah.
then we're
Yeah,
done.
we don't need a
And
resolution.
I
for
would
that.
like to see an American flag put on
Just as long
his
as
grave
everybody's
too.
on board with it, we're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pardon?
I don't think they ever put an American flag on his grave either.
Seriously? Okay.
I don't believe so.
They, remind me tomorrow and I'll call, Pete, yes, thank you. And tell him to put him on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, cause I know, my dad, when he did it, I know some people had gotten left off and I had talked to them the one time because, new people take over doing it and then they don't realize some of the names were written down and people just did it for.
Yeah.
If everybody wants to take some time to walk back there, it's amazing to look at the tombstones, but the whole Dunn family is back there.
Okay, cool. Very good. Okay, thanks, Ed.
Yep.
Bruce, you have a comment?
Yeah, you know, you're doing this thing for this walkway and this tunnel through under the train tracks to make things walkway friendly or walker friendly. What about looking into putting money into that train trestle, cause when the people are walking under it and the concrete falls on their head, they're not gonna be too friendly after it hits them.
It's a precast.
Yeah, but something's gotta be done about that, that's.
He's talking about the existing.
I will tell you about that. I'll tell you about that. I spoke to her about that. She said that, well, you know this, that they have come and they've inspected it. They say that it's safe. They did some work at the base this last year, and they said, correct me if I'm wrong, that if we wanted to do the work, they would pay for materials, meaning painting
Right.
and maybe spackling.
I remember that was a big insurance deal with Clementi and the whole 9 yards.
Right, well,
If something
because
falls
if
off
it's-
that trestle.
I
who's
don't
gonna
think they
fall
ever
back
did
on
any
it?
work on that.
Yeah, I saw them
I
out
mean-
there at the base.
And they also had scaffolding in there.
And they had scaffolding.
Why didn't they finish it?
Well, the issue is okay, we could get volunteers to maybe help paint, but the height of that and the
Yeah, there was
angles and
insurance
whatnot,
thing.
I'm not comfortable putting people up there to
Right,
do it.
it
It's,
was
you
like
need
an
to
insurance
have
thing, if I
professionals.
recall.
Yeah.
You need to have professionals do it.
You got drop protection, all
Another
sorts
thing
of
that's
issues
gonna happen
there.
if you do that is the railroad union is gonna come down here and shut you down.
No, she said that they did that in Calicoon, and if you look at the Calicoon whole
Yeah,
thing.
but that's only as high as they can reach basically on ladders. Doing some.
But that's more
No, they
important
can't- they
than
put a
putting a trestle, a
form
walkway
under that
underneath,
board.
because
Oh, they did?
you want people to walk down in that end of town too,
They're waiting for it to collapse.
Yes, there are.
with the pedestrians under it.
For what?
Because that's not, you know.
Contracted out for
Oh,
somebody
well,
to
yeah,
put
I
in?
guess it would still be.
Maybe I could
Yeah.
work it into the railroad grant that I'm writing
Yeah.
Good
now.
idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
how much do you think that's gonna be? Does anybody have a clue?
It's not a lot, it's just repointing and refacing, it's really not a lot of work.
So,
But it's someone who knows how to do it.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's not
And-
someone
and
who
then it
comes
has
and
to
says,
be-
"Oh, I'll help you out."
Work
It
it
has
It don't
in.
work that way.
Well, you got at least $1,500 for the lift, right?
Yeah.
So,
Put it in
We know
next to
that.
100,000.
It's
no,
probably
I wanna
$20,000 to
get it. I
$30,000.
don't wanna make it,
That's a more sensible thing to work on. because
That's a good
you do have
idea.
people walking down through there.
yeah.
I could add that.
Yep.
Talking about this bridge for like 2 years.
I know, we need the money to do it.
Well, the railroad said
Because they
that,
won't do it.
They won't do it, Burnham's all there to do it.
But if you can get this grant to
bridge.
cover that,
Yeah.
there you go.
Huh?
Right, if they'll pay for materials, then all we have to pay for is the professional's labor.
Yeah.
Okay, I
For the
just,
grant.
who do I
Yeah.
ask for an kinda like an estimate? Who would know that?
That's just quotes.
Who?
Masonry
Mason.
people.
Mason.
Yeah, put out quotes,
Masonry, geez,
Well,
Meckel
that's
does
when I really-
foundations, a lot of people.
No,
anybody
quotes,
who
you
does
find out how much it's
concrete
gonna
work.
cost.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, but a lot of
repointing
people
is
do that exterior
Quotes
a
and
little
bids.
different than
Thing.
just
Hey,
pouring
Lance
on.
Mercado does a
Lance
lot of that
does
work,
that stuff.
Yeah.
does a lot of
Lance
stone
does?
work, yes,
Yeah.
he does a
Not
lot.
everybody can hang concrete though.
Yeah.
He does a lot of refacing.
Not that three-facing, I'm talking about hanging.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
you
a
have
whole
to
nother
have
thing.
it-
Someone to ask, they'll point you in the right direction.
Right.
Okay, you have to have it in the, what do you call that wage, fair wage?
Oh.
Prevailing,
Prevailing
wage, yeah.
unless they're volunteers.
Right.
Then they-
Okay, I will work that into the grant, Mr. Gettle.
Thank you. Good idea, Bruce. You got another one?
Yep, I'd just like to know who's on this town emergency committee, because you said that plan is coming close to being something, to being,
Complete,
yeah, I'd like to know, that you said you're gonna bring it to your emergency plan committee. Who's on this committee?
Who's on the committee?
Yeah.
Gary, myself, Art, Dave Casey, and,
Nobody from?
yes, Clarence is.
Clarence?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. None of us knew that.
Clarence has attended the meetings.
Yeah, well, he doesn't.
Oh,
So
okay, well,
I'm
that's
just
on-
curious.
Okay, yeah. Yep, Clarence has been there. He didn't make the last one, but he has been there.
He
Yes.
probably won't be in.
Yeah,
He'll
okay,
probably have sent something else down. He's busy, summertime.
okay. Okay.
Just wanna see
So-
who was up there.
Yeah, if you wanna,
They sleep with the fishes.
give me a call or send me an email and I'll let you know when the next one is. If you guys wanna send a different rep, that would be great.
Yep.
Sure, yeah. And then Nicole represents the ambulance. She's joined us as well. And in the past, we have Kathy Michelle, so, yep. So, that it?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, can I ask just one question?
No, you're done, you're
I'm
done.
gonna anyway. On 22, on your consent agenda,
Uh-huh.
can I ask about that one? What's that all about anyway? I see you wanna increase the highway superintendent and take away from garage. What's that all about?
Right, good question.
Because you didn't see it, but you got your new computer and all the work on it was 1,400, but it's over budget. So I'm just taking from one account to the other.
Right. We
That's
can't
all.
Can't you take it out of my educational one?
Well,
That's one of the
That's
items.
only 500, I think, in there.
But
Yeah.
that would be enough to add into the other one to.
If someone just, you need more money, there, we'll transfer the money around again.
Yep.
Okay.
Carol, who's Dorothy
You
McCormick?
know better.
Question he asked last year.
Ken, would you like to explain who Dorothy McCormick is?
You know her as Dot, I think?
Yeah. Dottie?
Woman's always with Ken?
Oh,
She works in the office
Yeah.
upstairs every Monday and Friday.
yes, yes, okay.
Okay.
So why do we have to continue to appoint her?
It's
Aren't-
an
aren't those
annual
people-
appointment.
I used to be able to
Yeah.
select my own secretary, and the board had a problem over that a few years ago, so they wanted to do the appointment, so now they're doing the appointment.
Okay, well, they're done.
That's all I know
So
about
she's a
it.
clerk, she's not on the agreements, but she's a clerk to the agreement.
Clerk to the
correct.
Grievance Board, correct. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And the cleanup day, May 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn said he was good with that date, so.
You made it longer though, the guys all noticed that right off the bat. You got 5 hours this year instead of 4.
I did, I wanted to
Yeah,
extend it a little
and you know
bit,
that
give people a little bit more time.
In Coshocton, the highway department has nothing to do with the cleanup day too. We get volunteers like they used to do in here. They used to come up, the town board members would come up and stuff like that. Don't happen no more.
Appreciate you, Glenn. I've been there a couple of times.
Hi Glenn, and hey guys, thank you, bye.
I stood there.
You gonna let me run the loader?
Give me any
What do you
flags.
have to do, Glenn? What do you guys do?
I'll run the loader.
Unload the
I
truck.
don't know.
I used to be an MEO, buddy.
Aren't
Yeah,
they-
see, you want volunteers
Aren't
until
they
you
just
get volunteers.
dumpsters? Aren't they dumpsters on the ground, right?
No, we dump everything in the buckets and then just dump it into, we help them unload their cars and their trucks and whatever they come up with. And the biggest thing is, technically they're supposed to be from the town, and we have no way of really checking it. I mean, basically, we know everybody that comes there or something, and
We did one year, we did,
the thing is,
tickets from the town clerk. If you came and got your ticket from the town
the
clerk.
thing is, you
it proved
turn
that you were a
somebody away,
resident.
it's gonna be at the end of one of your dirt roads anyway,
Yeah,
so.
just might as well get
But
it
then
done
you
with.
get into, well, are you a taxpayer or you're a resident? Who are you gonna prove, you know, it's,
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Excuse me, it's the right thing to do.
I don't think we get enough people that are from out of town that it really warrants a big benefit. So, can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda with the change?
So moved. I'll
Second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Board comment, Ned?
4th of July is coming up. Have fireworks and stuff going off. Jane, are we doing the fireworks on the 4th of July, which is Friday, right?
Yeah, we're doing it on the 4th because the parade is on the 4th.
4th, okay.
Hey.
So, we'll be looking for donations and hopefully we'll have a good or better display than we had last year.
Right.
Jane?
No, I don't have anything
I
this
don't
morning.
either, really. That's said everything I was gonna say.
I don't either. I would just like to, again, thank everybody who's put work into, Glenn and Brandy and Star and Charles and Ed, and everybody who's been helping out and yes, Iris, and
Iris
Yes.
worked hard.
so.
Good job,
That's
ladies.
how we get things done. And no more public comment, I'm assuming? We just went through that, I don't
Yeah,
know why I
we're done
had it
with
twice. And I'll make a motion to recess.
I'll second it.
Well, we need to, we need a date.
Well, quick
we
there,
worked out
Norm.
the date. No, we can work out the date after we make the motion, you know, it's no big thing.
Well, we have to recess to a certain date, though. Let's see.
Is that because of the, issue with the,
Well, the fire district, and then I've got the NYSER to audit we need to go over, but Tony wasn't here, he's the one that did the contacting about that, and I'd like to put the audit presentation on that as well, so.
audit presentation
For
from
Cooper
Cooper
Neiman.
Neiman?
Yep, Cooper Arias, sorry. And get used to saying that.
So what are you looking at?
I'm looking at, the long weekend is the 26th, 27th, everybody's off from school on the 27th
No,
as
the
well.
long weekend's
so
the
that's-
23rd, 24th.
Yeah, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th.
Oh, you get all that
26th is
off?
Memorial Day,
Okay,
then the school district also has the 27th off, so.
okay.
For me, I'm looking at between the 28th and 30th, or 20th and 29th, basically. Or,
I can do 28, 29.
Anyone's fine with me.
I'm good.
do you have anything in here Thursday nights?
I'm not around Thursday
Yeah.
nights,
You're
but-
not around Thursday nights, okay.
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
28th?
Oh, yeah,
Wednesday
28th.
would be better, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Wednesday the 28th?
You guys really need to have a meeting to decide when you're gonna have a meeting.
What time, Carol? What time?
28th, say at 5:30, that work?
Sounds good.
28th at what, 5:30?
5:30.
That dog
And I'll
keeps
probably
going
do
up
the
you.
audit presentation first, that way they
I got the one stall, you get the one stall.
go home.
Then I'll make that I have to go to
Okay, so
school
I have a
on the
motion
27th
and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Did he make the motion and the second?
Norm's on the roll tonight.
You made the second.
That's it.